I'm Dr. Bob, and today we're going to put, we're still working on the tiles. This is a tile, another tile video, and this is, should be the last one, but I think it's probably going to be one more after this, because today we need to we need to prepare the tiles for the grout. So today is a grouting video, and what I have here is a 1/4 inch chisel, okay? But we can't use a 1/4 inch chisel. So I looked at it and I measured it with my tape measure, and of course you can see this is right around 1/4 inch. Well, maybe you can't see, but I'm looking at it and I'm measuring, and this is 1/4 inch. Now you think this is going to be perfect because all the tiles are 1/4 inch apart. 1/4 inch, that's a 1/4 inch. Some of the tiles are more than a 1/4 inch apart, and some are less than a 1/4 inch apart. And the smallest chisel that I have is this 1/4 inch chisel. And I don't want to ruin one of my good chisels, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down to the hardware store and I'm going to buy myself something really cheap. And it's going to be another 1/4 inch chisel, and I'm going to grind it down to something smaller than a 1/4 inch. And if I have to, I'll grind it down to the smallest line that I have to get into. Okay, now some of you may be asking the question, why the chisel? Why the chisel? What's that all about? And we talked about this before, and I'll go over it one more time, just because it didn't occur to me that you might not know why we got a chisel between the tiles. Well, here's why we have to chisel between the tiles. We need to put the grout. We need to put the grout down inside. And it needs, according to my good friend David at Home Depot, you see some of this stuff, it needs to be at least down at least a 1/4 inch or the thickness of the tile right here. And as you may recall, now this, I may not, well actually I will bother with that because that needs to come out of there. And I can actually fit this chisel in there, and I could chisel this out a little bit. But it needs to be down about a 1/4 inch. And as you may recall, I was using these little guys, the spacers, to dig out the thinset that oozed up through here. But I didn't do it consistently. So here was one where I could have brought a spacer in, but there's more than a 1/4 inch over here. And so that may not have gone well, and the spacer wouldn't have done a good job. Or I was just neglectful. And this one here, you can see there's almost no space inside there to even fit this spacer. So these two, this could have been pushed over a little bit more that way. But see, this one looks okay. This one looks like I came through here with the spacer and I dug it right on out. And this one here doesn't go down all the way the 1/4 inch. And so I need to get this out. Otherwise, seeing that needs to be dug out. Not every single one of them, because I really did use a spacer in a lot of places, but there are a lot of places where I was, to be honest, a little bit neglectful. I wouldn't say neglectful, I just didn't know that I needed to do it. So, being a beginner on this, now I do know that I need to do it, but again, I wish for a tool that did this, and I was at the store where they sell this stuff, and I looked for one, I didn't see one. The only tool I found that did this was these little spacers here, and it did a pretty good job, but you had to throw it out after you used it because it was just covered with this thinset. So, but anyway, so that's what we need the chisel for. Okay, I'm Dr. Bob. I have purchased a new chisel, and this is actually I had to buy the whole pack. And so here's the new chisel, but I've noticed it's got some kind of sort of straight sides on it. So what I'm going to do, and this is the 1/4 inch, and I'm going to grind this down to less than a 1/4 inch. This little thing has to come off the top here. Alright, and as you can see, it's just a standard chisel, so and it's very straight along these edges here. So I'm also going to put a bevel like that, so the flat edge is going to look a little bit like that. So Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm getting ready to cut this little piece right here. Grind this chisel down and make it less than 1/4 inch. And here's my grinder. It's plugged in, it's ready to go. I get a little noisy. First, okay, so, wow, what is it? There must be important kitty food that needs to be eaten. This is part of the grout expedition I was reading on here. This is the stuff, stain blocker for grout, and you're supposed to mix this with 7 to 10 pounds of the grout. And I looked at it and it says, caution, avoid contact with eyes and prolonged contact with skin. Do not inhale vapors. Okay, look. I'm going to be using this right in my face. Once again, it's an additive to one of the basically odorless grout that I have here. So yeah, this is going to be right in my face. I think this is going back to the store. Another one of those things I don't really want. Knee pads. There's some of the old knee pads. These are the $9 knee pads that I've had forever, and they just really haven't torn apart. Now, I remember my last expedition, my last time I tried chiseling this particular stuff, and it was really tough. So let's see how bad it's going to be. This doesn't look too bad. I didn't know how much hammer I wanted to use on this, but this looks like this section I can actually go with a bigger hammer. Alright. This hammer is getting a little bit better. This is a little bit better. The chisel, see if I don't get this out of here. Oh, I just chiseled. See, this is what I was worried about. If I just chiseled a bit of the tile right here, so that's not good. chipped away a little bit of the tile there. And that's because the chisel was too wide. You know what? Let's redo that chisel. I think I figured out a different way to do this. I couldn't get that line right there. I'm going to cut it along the side here. I envisioned, although I wanted more angle on this right here. So let's do that. So this, I wanted a little bit more of this because that's where the tile is going to hit. When it goes down the side, it's going to be going in like that. So that's what I really want on this. Alright, that's a little bit more like the shape I actually wanted to begin with. So let's try that. Use it. So that'll go down 1/4 of an inch without chipping, and it'll get the, you see, it'll get the down between the tiles without chipping them, and this is the problem that I'm having right now. So ideally, just don't let the stuff be there. Okay, so let's try my new invention here. And see how this works. Alright, you can see a little bit of chunk right there. Oh yeah, gets right in there. See, gets right in there. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So that's all the chiseling I'm going to do. I could probably do more. And even though it's air conditioned and nice and cool in here, I'm sweating like crazy. You can see I have a little bit of sweat. So that wasn't a simple job, but it's time to move on to the next step, which is let's do the grout. I'll put that away. Okay, when all else fails, quit screwing around and just use the shop vac. So let's use this one. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup and get these vacuum cleaners out of the way, and then get a bucket and get ready for this for the grout. Okay, that's about. See you in a little bit. Thanks for watching my program.